Hi guys, Jamie Oliver, who has been one of the greatest campaigners for healthier and more affordable eating for a number of decades now, spoke to Times Radio about how things have changed since he began his life's work. Here he was asked about what needs to change as a result of the cost of living crisis, and he explained what's at stake: the fact that children are coming to school hungry. Now, this is due to a massive fault in the system where families can only claim free school meals if they earn less than £7,000 a year. Have a listen to what he had to say.
For myself personally, when I did school dinners campaign, you cannot do that job properly and not be emotionally moved by the free school lunch kids and what that represents. And currently there are 800,000 kids in this country between the free school lunch kids and universal credit. So just to give you some context on that, to get a free school lunch in Britain today, your family has to earn per household just over less than £7,000, right?
Annually.
That's all.
Yeah.
So that's how hard up they are. That's how vulnerable they are. And there's an 800,000 child gap between that and universal credit. And we've known for a long time and been talking about and campaigning for a long time, I'm talking about 5 years since its creation, that this is an unfair gap. And I guess if you spoke to any teacher or any lunch lady or manager, this is where you're starting to hear narrative now about kids coming to school starving. It's always happened in pockets, and for any democracy that any of us could respect, like, we always want to catch the most vulnerable. So free lunches do that, but it's not enough. It's not wide enough, and certainly now more than ever with everything that's going on. What we need to do as a nation and as a government is make sure the people that are geeky and clever and care about public health and communications and labelling and truth and ingredients and things that should be banned because they're toxic, from pesticides to additives, you want that to happen. You want your child to be in the presence of that nation. What you don't want is a passive government that keep rattling on about nanny states when kids need a good nanny in their life.
Wonderful. And always he's correct. And, he started his life's work trying to remove things like pesticides and additives from food to make food healthier. And now there is a real crisis where people can't afford healthy food. They're struggling to afford any type of food. And of course, this is going to have long-term consequences for public health. People are eating poor quality food today. It's going to have an impact in the future. And this is going to put pressure on the NHS. It's going to cause obesity problems. It's going to cause diabetes. It's going to cause a whole range of problems. Now, back to the main point here, this £7,000 threshold. Who comes up with these ideas? Who decided, yes, we're going to cut it off at £7,000? A household, not individuals, a household, if they earn more than £7,000 a year, they don't qualify for free school meals. There is a cost of living crisis. Inflation is at about 10% minimum. For the poor in society, it's probably about 20%. So people are earning less, they're taking home less, they're struggling more, and the cut-off point is £7,000. How is that acceptable? How can the government say, yes, £7,000, perfectly fine. If you earn £8,000, you don't qualify for free school meals. And as Jamie has said here, children are coming to school starving. There are stories of teachers going out and buying food for their students. There are food banks being set up by schools. Head teachers are redirecting parents to food banks because they say, look, we can't actually provide you with free school meals because you don't meet the threshold. You don't meet the requirement, sorry. Completely unacceptable, and the people in charge simply do not care. They don't feel this. The people around them don't feel this. They have no understanding of what it is for a family to struggle. £7,000 a year. Then you qualify. More and more people would qualify, but the threshold is still the same. Oh, you earn 8,000. Oh, you earn 10,000. Oh, then you don't qualify. Completely ridiculous, especially in this time of this cost of living crisis. Something has to change. But unfortunately, it requires a change of government, because Liz Truss isn't going to change this. Therese Coffey is not going to change this as Deputy Prime Minister. Chloe Smith, the new DWP Secretary, is not going to change this. The Health Secretary is not going to change this. The Education Secretary is not going to change this. Nobody is going to change this because it doesn't affect them, and they don't see it as a requirement that pushes them to change. Unfortunately, it will require a change of government. It will require a general election. And I do believe that the Labour Party would undo this, would increase the threshold at least, or would provide free school meals to all. Yes, there's a cost in relation to that, but there's a massive societal cost by not providing it. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think about all of this. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.